Hello students, relax, sit back and listen to our math class. In today's class, we are going to learn what is meant by ratio and what is meant by proportion. Okay, so ratio means a ratio is a comparison of two quantities with same unit. So, for example, 1:5. Okay, the symbol should be pronounced as is 2. Is 2. Okay, so 1:5. These two quantities, we are comparing these two quantities by using ratio, and the unit of these two quantities are same. That means if this is in kilometer, means this two will be in kilometer. Okay, so the unit will be same, but while you are comparing in ratio, while you are writing in ratio, it has no units. So a ratio has no units, but a ratio has no units, but you will compare the quantities of the same unit in ratio. Okay, so 1:5. Next, 5:1. These two quantities will be of same unit, and you are comparing it using ratio, but a ratio has no unit. So here you won't mention the unit. Okay, so this is 5:1, and 1:5 and 5:1 is not same. They are different. 1:5 not equal to 5:1. Here 1:5 and this is 5:1. These two are different. Okay, these two won't be same. So a ratio is a comparison of two quantities with same unit, and a ratio has no unit. It has no unit. Okay. Another example, 6:5. 60:5. 6:5 is in its simplest form, whereas 60:50. Okay, 60:50 means you can further simplify it. Am I right? So by using which table you can simplify it? By using 10 table. This is 6 times, this is 5 times. So 6:5. Okay, so a ratio will be in its simplest form. Okay, a ratio has no units, and in ratio we will compare the quantities of the same unit. Okay, and a ratio can't be reversed. That means 1:5 is different from 5:1. Okay, now we can deal with some problems related to ratio. Okay, so first problem, 500 gram to 250 gram. Okay, so these two quantities are in same unit. These two quantities are in same unit, gram. So we can easily convert this. So step number 1 is write this in fraction. So 500 divided by 250. Okay, in ratio, while doing the ratio problem, you should not mention the unit, because ratio is a number. Ratio has no units. It is just a comparison of quantities of same unit. Okay, so 500 by 250. Next, simplify this. This 0 will be cancelled out. This 25, 50. 25 will be 5 times and 50 is 10 times. Again, further, if you simplify in 5 table means 2:1. So, here you got 2:1. Okay, so 2:1 is your final answer, is your ratio. Okay, so while dealing with problems related to ratio, first you have to write that in fraction form. Next, you have to simplify it. Before doing everything, you have to check those units. The units should be of same one. If the units is of different means, you have to convert it to same units, and you have to further do the rest of the step. Second problem is 20 minutes to 1 hour. So first step is you have to check the units. Here this is given in minutes and this is in hour. So either you have to convert both these into minutes or both these into hour. So we know that 1 hour has 60 minutes. Am I right? So 1 hour has 60 minutes. So we can convert both of these into minutes. So here already given this as 20 minutes. So 20 minutes to 60 minutes. Next step is we have to write this in fraction form. So 20 divided by 60. So if you are further simplifying, it means 0, 0 will be cancelled out. These are in multiples of 2. So this is 1 time, this is 3 time, 1 by 3. So 1 by 3 is the simplest form. So 1 is to 3. So your final answer. Okay. So while dealing with problems related to ratios, the first step is you have to check those units. Okay. If the units is of same one, then there is no problem. If the units is of different, then you have to convert it to same one. And next step is you have to write those ratios in fraction form and then further simplify it and you will get the final answer. Okay. Next we are going to deal with equivalent ratios. So equivalent ratios means, for example, 1 is to 2, 2 is to 4, 3 is to 6. These three ratios are given. Okay. These three ratios are equivalent ratios because here this is 1 is to 2. If you are simplifying this 2 is to 4 means, first step is you will write this in fraction form. So 2 by 4. So further simplify means these two are multiples of 2. This is 1 time, this is 2. So 1 is to 2. Next 3 by 6. So further simplifying in multiples of 3. So 1 is to 2. So here already there is 1 is to 2. So 1 is to 2 equal to 1 is to 2 equal to 1 is to 2. So these three ratios are equivalent ratios. Okay. So the concept of equivalent ratios is the final simplest form will be the same one for those ratios. Okay. Another example, 1 is to 4. Okay. 9 is to 36. Okay. So 1 is to 4 is the simplest form. 9 is to 36 means 9 by 36. So these two are multiples of 9. So this is 1 time. 9 into 4, 36. So final answer will be 1 is to 4. So 1 is to 4 and 9 is to 36 are equivalent ratios. Okay. So if there is one problem they are giving to find equivalent ratios of 1 is to 5. Okay. What you should do means, step number 1 is write this 1 is to 5 in fraction form. Write this 1 is to 5 in fraction form. Next step is multiplying the numerator and denominator by the same number. Okay. So for example, multiplying the numerator and denominator by 2. So 1 into 2, 2. 5 into 2, 10. Next 1 is to 5. Multiplying the numerator and denominator by 5. So 1 into 5, 5. 5 into 5, 25. So the equivalent ratios of 1 is to 5 is 2 is to 10 and 5 is to 25. Like this you can find many equivalent ratios. Okay. The concept is if you are further simplifying it, the final form will be the same one for those ratios. That's what the equivalent ratios. Now we are going to learn what is meant by proportion and proportionality law. Okay. So proportion means it is a comparison of two ratios. Okay. If two ratios are equal, then they are in proportions. That is A by B equal to C by D. It can be written as A is to B, C is to D. This is as A is to B as C is to D. That is, these two ratios are in proportion. These two ratios are equal. This is how we will denote in proportion. Okay, this is how we will denote these two ratios are in proportion by this symbol. Okay, A is to B as C is to D. Okay, so proportion means when two ratios are equal, we say that the two ratios are in proportion. Next, proportionality law. Proportionality law means A is to B is to C is to D. The terms here in outer part is known as extremes. The terms in the inner part is known as means. Okay, so according to proportionality law, the product of the extremes is equal to product of the means. Okay, so the product of extremes is A and D. So A into D, product of extremes equal to product of means. Product of means is B into C. So according to proportionality law, if two ratios are in proportion, then if these two ratios are in proportion, that is, if these two ratios are equal, then the product of the extremes is equal to the product of the means. Extremes means the terms in the outer part and means the terms in the inner part. When we are taking the product of extremes, it will be equal to product of means if those two ratios are in proportion. That's what the proportionality law. Okay, so proportion means comparison of two ratios. If the two ratios are equal means then those two ratios are in proportion. Okay, so proportion is denoted like this. A is to B, C is to D. In center, this is A is to B as C is to D. Okay, so next concept is proportionality law. Okay, if those two ratios are equal, if those two ratios are in proportions means then product of extremes equal to product of means. Extremes means in this part the outer terms, and the inner terms are means the outer part is extremes. So product of extremes equal to product of means. Okay, next we can deal with some problems related to proportion. Now this problem, by proportionality law, check whether 4:2 and 40:20 are in proportion. Okay, so first 4:2 as 40:20. Okay, proportionality law means product of extremes equal to product of means. So here extremes are this 4 and 20. Mean is this 2 and 40. Okay, so according to proportionality law, product of extremes equal to product of means. So product of extremes, this is means. So extremes are 4 and 20. So 4 into 20 equal to 2 into 40. 2 into 40. So here you will get 80 equal to here to 80. So these two ratios are in proportion according to proportionality law. Okay. Now we can say another example too. For example, we can check 8:4 and 3:5. Whether these two ratios are in proportion or not. So first step is 8:4 is to 3:5. These two are extremes. These two values are means. So product of extremes equal to product of means. Am I right? So what are the extremes? 8 and 5 is extreme. Mean is 4 and 3. So extreme means 8 into 5 equal to 4 into 3. 8 5s are 40. 4 3s are 12. Which is not equal. Am I right? Which is not equal. So these two ratios are not in proportion according to proportionality law. Thank you for watching. For more videos related to both school and college maths, kindly subscribe to our channel Curious Maths. Thank you.